Let us put our hands together as I welcome Mr. Dhaval Valia, Editor-in-Chief of CRN, India's leading IT channel magazine. Of course, he has been in the industry for over 14 years and is an expert at channel media and more. Let's put our hands together as we invite on stage Mr. Valia.
So good evening, Delhi. I always look forward to coming to Delhi. I live in Mumbai, based out of Mumbai. But, I love going to Nehru Place, meeting up with partners. It's always good to be among partners in Delhi because it's a very vibrant channel community that we have here. It's an eventful event here today. Imagine a company which till about 4 years back was selling direct. And today, 30% of their business comes from channels. And this event is to mark an announcement and launch of a new distribution-led model and a partner-led model, which is going to help Dell get double their partner business by almost double their partner business. And this is Michael Dell who said that they want to double their partner business, which is 2/3 of Dell's business over the next 3 to 5 years will come from partners. And what this underlines is the fact that partners are very, very important to any tech vendor today, and particularly in the times we live. Because if you look at Swarnendu mentioned about, changing tracks. Tracks are changing very, very fast. Today, there are fundamental shifts happening in the market. And partner becomes the most important route to market for any tech vendor. I'm going to, briefly talk about, in my presentation, about what are these trends and changes that are happening, the fundamental changes that are happening in the marketplace. I'm also going to briefly touch upon, the opportunities that exist for the partners. And finally, briefly talk about certain things that the partner needs to do to adapt to this change, survive, succeed, in the marketplace. So let's look at some of the changes. In 2012, Gartner coined a term called nexus of forces. What are these nexus of forces? We all know about, mobile. What has mobile done to the tech landscape today? Mobile has given a bit of computing power in every hand today, isn't it? There has been pervasive access to the internet, to apps through mobile. Then we look at cloud. What has cloud done? Cloud, in a way, has democratized IT, hasn't it? Just like mobile. Mobile has put power in your hand. You can access the internet. As per a certain statistics, India's internet subscriber base is roughly around 25 crore. And out of that, 30% of them have never ever used a PC to be on the internet. They've used a mobile phone. Right? That's the power of mobile. Similarly, the cloud has also democratized the use of IT. A lot of small businesses, less than 100 people, they weren't able to afford IT. There was capex, then there was management issues, who's going to manage it, who's going to support it, who's going to service it, right? And then came the cloud. Made it affordable, on the tap, use it, pay as you go. So cloud is another big force that is going to impact, and that is impacting the IT industry. Then we come to social. All of us, most of us sitting here would be on some social media, right? LinkedIn, Facebook. And we've seen the power of social media. Social media fueled the Arab Revolution, right? And today, what is really happening here is that a lot of customers are using social media, as in your customers, organizations, are using social media to influence customers, to acquire new customers. New business models are, evolving because of that. And when you have all these three things happening, what is really happening is there is a load of information that is coming up. How do you contextualize that information? Today, a social media has also become a channel for customer support. A lot of companies, take feedback from customers. Customers post complaints on social media. How do you process that data? Right? Mobile applications, so many mobile applications, so many activities happening on the mobile. How do you process that information and make it contextualized? And how do you, get closer to the customer in that sense? So these are the four forces, that are going to disrupt the way IT is consumed, the way IT is sold. So let's look at, how this is impacting enterprise IT. The customers, your customers, how is IT changing for them, right? Just about 5 years back, a CIO was in full control of IT. He didn't have to worry about it. The IT manager, यहाँ पर computer लगाओ, यहीं पर code है, this is the access you'll have, and he was in full control of what was happening within the organization. But not anymore. What are employees asking for? Employees are saying that I will operate from anywhere, any place, any device. It could be a mobile phone, laptop, a smartphone, someone using 3 or 4 devices simultaneously, and collaboration, any team, right? The silos are breaking. So what does it do for your customer? So what does a CIO, what are his priorities because of the changes that are happening in the marketplace today? So first and foremost, with the proliferation of devices that we've seen, the customer base is widened. New marketplaces have opened up. Suddenly on social media, you have 1 billion plus people on Facebook, right? Everyone's a customer. If you are a brand, which is selling a mobile phone, you'd want to use social media, right? So everyone wants to invest in customer-centric technologies, right? Every customer wants, every CIO, every organization wants to get closer to the customer using these technologies. Why? Because these technologies are being used actively by customers. And this is one, multiple channels new channels have opened up to the customer. So every CIO today wants to invest in customer-centric technology. The IT optimization and business continuity theme is an ongoing theme. How do I lower my cost, right? How do I make my data center smaller? How do I virtualize? How do I make the server do the same thing, same things 10 times over, right? How do I optimize my infrastructure? And amongst all of this, information security is also becoming very critical. Today, there is, in an organization, an employee is on the cloud, is working through a tablet, has access to enterprise applications or email or on mobile phone. How do I secure all these devices? How do I secure the enterprise? As I said, it's no longer a controlled environment, right? Employees are working any place, anywhere, any device. So security is another, priority for the CIOs. And as I said, enterprise mobility. How do I use this channel to reach more customers, create new markets? And that is exactly what customers are focusing on. Cloud computing, right? We discussed about the power of cloud computing. Now, this is what I meant. What is customer-centric IT? And this is essentially enabling internal and external users, right? And to use IT in a seamless way. And this is what most of the CIOs are looking at doing over the next 2 or 3 years. And what does that mean? So a lot of CIOs will either upgrade or deploy ERP, SCM, CRM to essentially talk to their internal stakeholders, external stakeholders, use BI analytics to get more insights into what customers want, what is happening with the business, right? Social media. Use that channel to reach to new customers, get feedback from them, get closer to them, acquire new markets, and then enterprise mobility. As I said, SMBs, which I believe is the core audience, core customer base of the audience present here, they're all looking at IT optimization and business continuity. And as I said, virtualization, data centers, optimizing the networks, all of that put together. How do I optimize and do more with less? That is the key theme. As I mentioned, security is becoming very, very important, right? Threats are increasing. We talked about, the social cloud and mobility paradigm, which again requires a lot more security. Now, this is what, a lot of CIOs, so this is essentially information taken from Gartner, some from Forrester and Ernst & Young report, where 62% of CIOs are looking at having mobile applications for their internal organization. So it could be, mobile applications for customers. In case of banks, they have banking applications. It could be in terms of, vendors, as in their suppliers or their, so for example, a Dell could tomorrow have a mobile app for partners, right? You already have a partner portal. Can I not have it on a mobile, right? It makes it easier. BOID, in part of the mobility bit, right? And this is also growing, with 25% CIOs saying that they are putting in place a BOID strategy which will allow their employees to bring their own devices, the kind of devices they want. Now, why is cloud? I mean, we discussed about cloud, right? Why is cloud computing such a pervasive thought? How does it democratize, the use of IT? Well, there's no upfront investment, so to speak, right? You pay on the go, gives you scalability. If you want more computing power tomorrow, more clients to be supported, you can just, open the tap and pay for that, the computing power, the storage, the applications that they're using. Now, this is primarily a cloud adoption curve. I mean, email is something that a lot of companies have been using. I mean, we've been using Gmail for 10 years, and Gmail is essentially a cloud application, email application, right? Now, you have Exchange Live and so many other email applications that are there. Customer-centric applications, right? CRM, then disaster recovery, primarily storage backup, which is a very, very, high growth area for cloud. Applications like vendor collaboration, HR, these are the things. The core ERP, where, a lot of confidential data resides, is not going to go on cloud immediately, right? Because customers have issues sharing their data, putting in on cloud, because security, information security, data security is still an issue with CIOs. They perceive that as an issue. If they were to put their data, confidential data, on the cloud, they don't know if it'll get compromised, right? It'll get hacked, so they don't know about it. So they are not so keen on putting it up. Now, what I wanted to essentially briefly focus on is, what does all this mean for the partners, and where do the opportunities lie? And what is it that the partners need to essentially do to sustain and succeed in future? So let's look at this. CRN does this biannual surveys every 6 months. We poll partners to understand, what is their confidence level, how is the business doing. We call it the CRN Channel Confidence Survey. So we do it in the month of May, which essentially gives us an idea about what are the plans for the next 12 months, and one in November, which allows us to understand, how the first 6 months have gone and what do they expect from the next 6 months. So this particular survey we did, in November 2013, and we asked people, what is the growth you're expecting? I mean, the first 6 months of last year was pretty bad. You had dollar fluctuation, riddled with stocks, and, many things happened. But yet, people said that this year, they plan to grow at 70%. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. 17% is pretty healthy growth. And if you look at the partners who took, there were 150 partners like you who took this survey, had an aggregate turnover of 2,500. So very, very credible, sample size we had. So 17% growth expected. So how many of you have had more than 10, 15% growth this year? Or you will close this year with, keep your hand up, yeah. Well, fairly large number of people. More than 20%? Okay. Less than 10%? Okay, so then the rest of them are all more than 30% then? Yes. Oh, wow. So let's clap for all of us. Yeah, 30% is pretty credible. So let's look at, what are partners doing today, right? One of the things everyone is doing is adding new solutions and services. All of you, I'm sure, have added new products, new solutions, and new services, haven't you? Yes. Right? Deep selling. When you add a new solution, what do? You go to the existing client and say, sir, naya solution hai, use it. So deep selling is what is, giving growth to the partners. Yeah, it's been, an okay year. Last couple of years have been relatively, low growth. So the focus on improving operational efficiencies, cost cutting, and all of this has happened. The other element is focus on new industry verticals. A lot of partners are focusing on new industry verticals. Now, this is essentially, we asked people, what are the areas or solution and services areas which were giving growth to them, and virtualization is among the top. And most of these partners, they cater to small to medium businesses, right? So virtualization, data center solutions is still the highest growth area. The second highest growth area, we were surprised, because 2 years back, partners did not have a very strong play in security and surveillance. Why? Because it was analogous, right? Largely. But in the last 2 or 3 years, what has happened is that a chunk of IP, a chunk of physical security and surveillance has moved to IP. And I see a lot of partners grabbing that opportunity. How many of you are doing physical security surveillance? Just 2? Okay. So that is a big opportunity. So for people who are not doing it, that's a big opportunity, because the threat scenario, is so bad that every, from a small shop to a large enterprise, even homes, they all want security. And I think physical security solution is a pretty, solid area to be in. And as I said, video conferencing is improving, is growing, enterprise mobility, BI analytics, which is in tune with what the customers are also doing. Right? They are also investing in BI and analytics, enterprise mobility. So it's in tune with what customers want. Now, if you were to summarize, what is really happening in the marketplace, and please tell me, if it's the same with you. IT spends on customer-centric technologies, right? Why? Because the more you want to go closer to the customer, you want to take feedback, you want to differentiate your products, you want to essentially grow the market, grow the business, and also be profitable. So customer-centric technology investment is going to grow. And this is going to be around social networking, around cloud, and around mobility. The second important thing that has started happening because of this, the moment IT becomes business-centric, business outcome focused, a lot of line of businesses, sales organization, marketing organization, support organization, they start influencing IT decisions. So one of the things that is we are seeing that in India is that a lot of line of businesses have started influencing IT decisions. They're going to the CIO saying that this is the solution I want. These are the features I want. This is the timeline within which I want the solution, right? And they are driving this themselves, right? So CIO here is essentially delivering, it's a fulfillment sort of a guy, but the entire project is being driven by this line of businesses. As we said, IT as a service is gaining ground. Customers want CAPEX to OPEX, right? So that's what they are doing. And I think, Swanendu made a very important point. What you have seen in the last, couple of years is consolidation in the IT industry, right? We have the example of Sony exiting the business. We have IBM exiting of the server business. So the vendor ecosystem is consolidating today, right? And what could this mean? That there would be fewer players, but there could be and there would be bigger players. For example, take the case of Dell. Over the last, I think 4 or 5 years, they've acquired some 20 odd companies, right? From a PC company and a server company, now they have the entire portfolio with them, right? So vendors are becoming bigger. They are providing all the product solutions under one umbrella. So this is what partners need to essentially do. First and foremost, as IT gets customer centric, you need to start focusing on the businesses or business priorities of the customer. What do the customers want? How are they customer? Who are the customer's customer? So these are important things that you need to start focusing on. Offer solutions for business outcomes. As I said, business centric, so you need to essentially offer solutions which can deliver ROI. Offer innovative pricing models. It could be through financing, it could be offering on an EMI or whatever it could be, and you could probably use financing from vendors or financing from other financial institutes or whatever. Align with end-to-end solution vendors. And I truly believe that as we go ahead and as the market consolidates, your partnerships are going to count. Who you align with is going to count. Because today, any company you take and you'll hear, "Arey, band ho jayegi," right? Will it get acquired, right? So those are the things that everyone's this thing. So one of the key things is going to be to align with a vendor who looks credible, who has the entire end-to-end solutions portfolio, and that's going to be key. And this is a maturity model for partners, and all of you can decide where are you currently and where you want to be. Do you want to be reactive? Do you want to be proactive? Or you want to be invested? Right? So that's, I think, all for today from my end. Thank you very much. I hope you'll take away something from the presentation, and I'll be around. I'd like to meet up with all the partners here. So thank you very much.